So last time we have seen the meaning of the frame of reference. Definition of frame of reference. A system of coordinate axes with reference to which the position or motion of the body is described completely is called as a frame of reference. So concept of frame of reference is very important. Why? Last time we have seen one example. This is a train. It is having motion in this direction. So these are the passengers. This is a platform. So this observer is O2, this observer is O1. So one observer is considering the motion of the passenger inside the train. Observer and passenger both are in the moving train. So here the passengers appear stationary for observer O1 because their frame of reference is attached to the train. Now second observer is standing on the platform. म्हणजे सेकंड ऑब्झर्वरची फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरन्स म्हणजे प्लॅटफॉर्म झाला. फर्स्ट ऑब्झर्वरची फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरन्स म्हणजे ट्रेन झाला. ओके. सो इन दिस केस ऑल द पॅसेंजर्स appears to be moving. So for O2 passengers are in motion. For O1 passengers are at rest. असंच आपण एक एक्झाम्पल घेतलं. If the frame of reference is attached to the earth, then the Taj Mahal, China Wall, Mount Everest, the Tower of Pisa, all these objects are at rest for the frame of reference attached to the earth. But if the frame of reference is attached to the moon, म्हणजे फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरन्सचा ओरिजिन आणि मूनचा सेंटर दोघे कोइन्साइड होतील. सो फॉर द ऑब्झर्वर ऑन द मून all these objects, Taj Mahal, Mount Everest, China Wall, Statue of Unity, they are in motion. And therefore, whether the body is in motion or whether it is at rest, that is decided, that is completely described by considering certain frame of reference. So this is the need for frame of reference. हे दोन एक्झाम्पल आपण डिटेलमध्ये बघितलेले. नाउ there are two types of frame of reference. One is a inertial and other is a non-inertial frame of reference. तर त्याचे डेफिनेशन आपण लास्ट टाइम बघितलेले आहे. Definition: a frame of reference which is fixed means at rest or moving with uniform velocity with a fixed frame of reference is called as a inertial frame of reference. तर त्याचे आपण हे एक्झाम्पल दिलेले आहे. A frame of reference attached to the earth. So origin of the frame of reference and center of the earth, they are coinciding. This is first example. So it is the inertial frame of reference. Or suppose the rocket, the spaceship is moving upward. Drifting means it is moving upward with constant velocity. Its velocity is maintained constant. So in this case, again the frame of reference attached with the spaceship. The spaceshipच्या सेंटरला आपण origin consider करायचा. So this frame of reference is now moving with respect to frame of reference of the earth, and therefore it has constant velocity. So it is the inertial frame of reference. A frame of reference attached to the spaceship moving upward with constant velocity is also inertial frame of reference. आपण स्पेसशिपचं एक्झाम्पल घेतलं, त्याच्याशी आपण बसचं एक्झाम्पल घेऊ शकतो, ट्रेनचं एक्झाम्पल घेऊ शकतो. A train moving with uniform velocity on the surface of the earth. So the frame of reference attached with the bus, with the train, is also inertial frame of reference. असे भरपूर फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरन्स आपल्याला यूज करता येऊ शकतात. नाउ सेकंड टाइप इज, सो इट इज मूविंग विथ युनिफॉर्म वेलोसिटी. इन दिस केस द बॉडी इज एट रेस्ट or moving with uniform velocity, therefore it has zero acceleration. In this case, acceleration is not zero, and therefore acceleration is not zero, it is having some acceleration. Therefore the another name for the non-inertial frame of reference is the accelerated frame of reference. And now on this side, it has zero acceleration, it has no acceleration. no acceleration, therefore it is called as non-accelerated. Non-accelerated frame of reference. So the another name are like this. Having acceleration, therefore accelerated frame. Having no acceleration, therefore non-accelerated frame of reference. So definition, example, and property of acceleration. Acceleration is zero, acceleration is not zero. Now, some more points we have to see. These points we had seen last time. Now let us see two more distinguishing factors between the inertial and non-inertial frame of reference. So the next point is about the Newton's law. So Newton's laws of motion, first, second, third law, etc. They are valid, they are obeyed. In inertial frame of reference, they are not obeyed because it is having its own acceleration. So Newton's laws of motion are true, are valid, are obeyed in this frame. In this frame of reference, on this side, laws of motion are not valid in this frame. So, therefore, the next point is this. Newton's laws of motion are valid, are true. Therefore, the forces in this frame are real or true. On this side, the forces considered in this frame are not true, not real, that is virtual, or they have given name, they are called as the pseudo force. रिअली pseudo forces एक टेबल डिस्ट्रीब्युशन टेबल आपल्याला सेपरेटली नंतर बघायचे. तर हे दोन पॉईंट आपल्याला नेक्स्ट लेक्चरमध्ये कुठेतरी बघायला मिळतील. So this is about the inertial and non-inertial frame of reference. So Newton's law are obeyed, Newton's law are not obeyed. The forces in this frame of reference are always true, real. They can be measured. याचा एक एक्झाम्पल आपण दिलं होतं. Centripetal force is a real force. So this force is the frame. It is not true. It is not real. It is called as a virtual force, or it is called as a pseudo force. Like this. So these are the differences between the two frame of reference, like this. So these are the two types of frame of reference. One is the inertial and other is the non-inertial. So definition, example, and one property we have seen last lecture. So it is a frame of reference moving with constant velocity, uniform velocity, and or it is at rest. So when the body is at rest or moving with uniform velocity, then we know that it has zero acceleration, and acceleration is zero. There is no acceleration, therefore it is also called as a non-accelerated frame of reference. These are the examples. Now on this side, this body is moving with acceleration, so it has acceleration, and therefore it is called as a accelerated frame of reference. These are the examples. Suppose a bus is moving on a road and driver applies the brake, then its speed decreases, it has retardation, so it has some acceleration. Retardation is फक्त minus sign येईल ते. So this is the example. One more example, when the vehicle is moving along a curved road, it has centripetal acceleration. So when the body has acceleration, maybe bus moving along the straight road or maybe the vehicle moving along a curved road. When it has acceleration, the frame of reference attached with the bus or vehicle is always the non-inertial or accelerated frame of reference. Now, the next point of differences are these first 3 points we have already seen in the last lecture. So Newton's laws of motion are true, they are valid, they are obeyed in this frame of reference. So we can apply them directly. For this accelerated frame of reference, this Newton's law are not valid. When we are to use them, we are to imagine something. So what is imagination required? That is given in the second point. In order to apply the Newton's laws of motion for non-inertial frame of reference, we have to consider the forces, we have to imagine the forces. So forces in this frame of reference are not true, not real, means they are imaginary, they are virtual, they are hypothetical, they are called as pseudo forces. So in order to verify or in order to explain the laws of motion, we have to imagine some forces in this accelerated frame of reference, and such forces are not real, they are imaginary, they are virtual, they are pseudo forces. Now on this side, the forces are always real, and we know the difference between real and imaginary or virtual forces. Real forces can be measured directly, these pseudo forces cannot be measured directly, but they can be measured indirectly. So now we have studied Newton's law, we know the frame of reference types, etc. Now what are the limitations for Ohm's law that we have to see? So one limitation we already know. Newton's law Newton's laws are not valid, not obeyed in non-inertial or accelerated frame of reference. Accelerated frame of reference. Second application. Newton's laws are applicable only for a rigid body. Rigid body means generally solid body. For liquid and gases, these Newton's laws of motion are not applicable. Third, these Newton's laws of motion are applicable for point objects only. Applicable for point objects and not for used bodies. In case of used bodies like motion of Earth, motion of Moon, etc., some modifications are required for distances like this. Fourth point. When speed of the body is approaching to velocity of light. Velocity of light. Then Newton's laws are again not obeyed. Newton's laws are not applicable. So there is a condition for the speed. The speed should be finite. It should not be comparable with the speed of the light. So speed of the light is 3 into 10 into 8 meter per second. So when the speed is approaching to this speed of light, speed of any body is approaching to speed of light, then that branch is called as a relativity, theory of relativity. So when relativistic speed is obtained by the body, then Newton's laws of motion are not applicable. So this is one more limitation. And for atomic and molecular sizes, again it is not applicable. So these are limitation for Ohm's law, limitation for this Newton's law, like this. Now we know the importance of the Newton's first law, second law. It gives the concept of force, a physical quantity force which is responsible or which is necessary to change the state of the body. So now let us see these forces in detail. So what are the basic or fundamental forces in nature, in universe, that we have to see? And the forces are like this. The type of the forces depends upon the types of the field. So there are four types of field. The four types of fields. One is a gravitational field. Second is a electromagnetic field, and third one is a nuclear field. Like this. In electromagnetic field, we can consider the electric field separately, we can consider the magnetic field separately. So gravitational field, electric field, magnetic field, nuclear field, these are the four basic fields. So depending upon the field, there are four types of forces. One is a gravitational force. Gravitational force. Second one is a electromagnetic force. Electromagnetic force. The third one is a nuclear force, but in nuclear force there are two subtypes: strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force. So we have to study these four types of forces one by one. So first we will start from gravitational force. In every force, we will see its definition, its properties, characteristics, range, its special features, etc. So let us see this first type, gravitational force. So many times there is a misunderstanding. Now we know that Earth has a property of attracting the body. It is also gravitational force of the Earth. But this gravitational force is not only due to the Earth, but if we consider the two bodies like this, one is a Jasper and other is a Payne. So between these two bodies, there is a gravitational force. इथे अर्थ काही संबंध नाही. So the force of attraction, this gravitational force is always attractive force. The force of attraction between any two bodies, not necessarily Earth, Payne and Duster. So that force of attraction between the any two bodies separated by a finite distance is called as body, means they are having certain masses. So you can give the definition like this. The force of attraction between two point masses. The bodies have masses. The force of attraction between the two point masses separated by a finite distance. Is called gravitational force. We will use this short form. So this is the meaning of gravitational force. The force of attraction between any two bodies having some mass separated by a finite distance is called as the gravitational force. Now, the electric force we have studied in electrostatic and it is given by Coulomb's law. Similarly, this gravitational force is given by Newton's law. So Newton has given the relationship for this gravitational force. So let us see that Newton's law of gravitation. Newton's law of gravitation. It gives the gravitational force between the two bodies, and we know that force is a vector quantity, so it is having direction, it is having magnitude. So both part, magnitude as well as direction, is given by Newton. So this is Newton's law of gravitation, and force is equal to mass into acceleration, that is Newton's laws of motion. दोघी लॉ मध्ये बरेच वेळा जमनिंग होतं, लक्षात ठेवायचं. सो द स्टेटमेंट इज लाईक दिस. Statement. I will give only mathematical statement. So if m1 is the mass of the first particle, m2 is the mass of the another body, these are point masses. This is kept at point A, this is kept at point B, and they are separated by a finite distance r. So they attract each other, and that force of attraction is given by F is, it is found directly proportional to the product of the masses, and it is found inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So this law is same as Coulomb's law. So electrostatic force is directly proportional to the product of the two electrical charges, and it is inversely proportional to the square of distance. So this law and this law is same. So force is directly proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. If we remove this proportionality sign, we have to take some constant, and that constant is taken as capital G. Capital G. इथे आपण तेच केलं होतं. F is directly proportional to q1 q2 upon r square. If we remove this proportionality sign, then that constant is given by 1 upon 4 pi k epsilon naught into q1 q2 upon r square, where this k is a dielectric constant of the medium, and it changes from medium to medium. Dielectric constant of the medium, like this. So this is Newton's law, that is Coulomb's law. It is between the two electrical charges, it is between the two gravitational charges. These point masses are also called as the gravitational charges. So here you can add the force of attraction between the two gravitational charges separated by a finite distance is called as a gravitational force. And now you can give the statement. The two point masses they are also called as gravitational charges. So in physics we consider generally three types of charges. One is the gravitational charge, means mass. Other is the electrical charge, measured in coulomb, and third one is the magnetic charge. Every magnet has two poles, north and south pole, and north and south pole has some magnetic strength, that is called as a magnetic charge. Gravitational charge, magnetic charge, electric charge, like this. So the two point masses, that is gravitational charges, attract each other by a gravitational force F, vector F, which or pulls which has a magnitude directly proportional to product of the two masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them, distance between them, and B, which has direction always along the line joining the two masses. This is the statement. Now, these two charges attract each other, therefore, this M2 is attracted towards M1 along this line. So, this is the line joining the two charges. So this M2 is attracted towards M1. M1 is attracted towards M2. So, this force, as usual, we will denote by F21. This force we will denote by F12. That is. So, by this relation, F12 is equal to G M1 M2 upon R square. This is also equal to F21. So they have equal magnitude G into M1 M2 upon R square. This is R square. And their direction, see this figure. F12 and F12 are in opposite direction, therefore. F12 is equal in magnitude to F21, but they are in opposite sign. And therefore, this F12 and F21, they are acting on two different bodies simultaneously, and therefore such forces are called F12 and F21. They form action-reaction pair. We have seen Newton's third law. To every action of force of action, there is an equal and opposite force of reaction. So this F12 and F21, these two forces are action-reaction pair. They are acting simultaneously. They are acting on two different bodies, and they are having same line of action. The line of action is same along the line joining them. So they form the action-reaction pair. They are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. Now in this case, what is about G? This G is called, in this equation, G is called as the universal constant of gravitational field. Universal constant of gravitational field, and it is given by 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11, and its unit will be this R square will go here, so Newton meter square upon kg square. So this is the value of G. So why G is called as the universal constant? There is a certain reason. Now in chemistry we know this equation, PV is equal to nRT. It is called as the ideal gas equation. N is the number of moles, R is the universal gas constant. So why it is called as a universal? Because it is independent of mass, size, density, electronic configuration of the gases. For all the gases, the value of R remains same. Each one is G is constant, whether the medium is air or water or vacuum, anything. So it does not depend upon the medium, it does not depend upon the size and mass of the two bodies between which this force is considered. And therefore, the G is called as the universal constant. You can also find the dimensions of G. G चे dimensions आपण मागे काढलेले, dimensions of G is equal to . So you can try for dimensions like this. So this is about the Newton's law of gravitation. Now, what are the examples of this gravitational force? There are so many examples of gravitational force. Examples of gravitational force. Gravitational force. First the force of attraction between the sun and the different planets revolving around it. So, force of attraction between sun and different planets revolving it. Second example. Now satellites are revolving around the earth. The force is also gravitational force. So satellites may be natural or artificial. The force of attraction between earth and revolving satellites. Satellites may be of any type, like this. Revolving satellite, artificial satellite or natural satellite. Newton's observation: apple from the tree always fall down. Why? Because every body is attracted toward the earth toward the center of the earth by the gravitational force. So the force exerted by the earth on all the objects surrounding it. The force of attraction exerted by earth and objects surrounding it or on it. Weight of the body, the concept of weight of the body is equal to gravitational force of attraction due to earth. So the concept of weight of the body is explained by considering the gravitational force exerted by the body on the earth. So if m is a mass, g is a gravitational acceleration, then m into g will be the weight of the body. So this weight of the body is generally given by Newton's laws of motion. So weight is equal to m into g. M into g is a gravitational force, like this. Now we have to see the characteristics of gravitational forces. We have to see the characteristics of all the forces, gravitational force, etc. Now, so in the universe, there are four fundamental forces. Out of that, the first force that we are going to study is a gravitational force. It is always attractive force. So force of attraction between the 2 point masses, they are also called as a gravitational charges. Separated by a finite distance is called as a gravitational force. So, now, if m1 and m2 are the 2 point masses separated by distance r, then the force has magnitude proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So this law, force inversely proportional to the square of distance, it is also called as the inverse square law. So by combining these two equations, we get this equation. F is proportional to m1 m2 upon r square, and therefore if we remove proportionality sign, we have to take some constant, and that constant is taken as g. So F is equal to g m1 m2 upon r square, where this g is called as the universal constant, and its value in SI system is given by 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square kg square. We can find the dimension. Why this G is called as a universal constant? I have given the reason. It is independent of the medium between the two bodies. So whether the two charges, two masses m1 and m2, they are kept in air or in vacuum or in water or in glycerin, their gravitational force will remain the same. No change in direction, no change in magnitude. Therefore, this constant of proportionality is a universal constant. Now, examples of this gravitational forces are like this: the force of attraction between the sun and the revolving planet, the force of attraction between the earth and revolving satellite, the force of attraction between the earth and any object surrounding it. The concept of weight of the body is explained by using this gravitational force. Now, this important property is this force is always directed along the line joining the two gravitational masses, point masses, and therefore this m1 will attract m2 by this force. F21 is a gravitational force acting on m2 by m1. F12 is a gravitational force acting on m1 by m2. So these two forces are towards each other. So one is to the left side, other is to the right side. They are in opposite direction. So F1 and F2 are equal in magnitude. Their magnitude is g m1 m2 upon r square, and their directions are opposite. Therefore minus sign. So these two forces F12 is equal to minus F21. This is the equation for the action reaction pair. So these two forces form the action reaction pair, like this. So this action reaction pair, we know the property. These are the two forces acting on two different body simultaneously, and they are having same line of action. So line of action is same. It is the line joining the A and B, where the 2 point masses are kept like this.